According to industry researchers monitoring the technology sector, a completely new artificial intelligence tool appears online approximately every 2 hours. More than a dozen new AI applications can launch in a single day, meaning hundreds of completely new products are entering the market every single month. Reports from global institutions like the World Economic Forum and McKinsey highlight that companies worldwide are currently investing billions of dollars into AI development. And according to recent societal surveys, millions of ordinary people are now using artificial intelligence in their daily lives, often without even realizing it. When you hear numbers like these, you might sit back and think, I had absolutely no idea this was happening. What does this mean for me as a human being? What is actually happening with AI right now? Welcome to Humanly Explained. Today we are going to step away from the confusing news headlines. We are not going to talk about science fiction, and we are not going to use complicated computer science terms. Instead, we are going to have a simple, everyday conversation about what artificial intelligence actually is, and why it is changing the world. It feels like almost overnight, AI became the biggest story on the planet. You cannot turn on the television, open a newspaper, or go to work without hearing about it. Why did this happen so suddenly? To understand this, we have to look at how computers have historically worked. For decades, a computer was basically just an incredibly fast calculator. It only did exactly what a human being explicitly told it to do. If you typed a letter on your keyboard, the letter appeared on the screen. If you asked it to add 2 numbers, it added them. The computer had no original thoughts. It just followed human rules. But recently, a profound shift occurred. We crossed a threshold where computers stopped just following simple rules, and they started doing something that looks a lot like generating new ideas. This is why everyone is talking about it. We have finally created a technology that does not just process our manual labor. It processes our cognitive labor. It can read, summarize, translate, and brainstorm. It is the biggest technological shift of our lifetime, and it is unfolding right in front of our eyes. So what exactly is artificial intelligence? If you were explaining this to a neighbor at a backyard barbecue, the simplest way to describe it is this. AI is a computer system that learns by looking at examples instead of following a strict set of pre-programmed rules. For a long time, early computer scientists believed that to make a machine smart, they had to teach it logic. They tried to write millions of lines of code to explain the world. But that did not work very well. Then, visionary scientists decided to take a completely different approach. They asked, what if we model the computer program to act like a human brain? Instead of giving the computer a rigid set of rules, they built artificial neural networks, which are basically digital simulations of brain cells connected together. Think about how you teach a toddler to recognize a dog. You do not hand the toddler a mathematical formula describing the exact dimensions of a dog's ears and tail. Instead, you point to a dog and say, "Dog." You point to a picture in a book and say, "Dog." Eventually, the child's brain recognizes the pattern. Artificial intelligence works the exact same way. Scientists feed the computer millions of pictures of dogs, and eventually, the digital network learns the pattern. The machine figures it out on its own. You might have heard the letters LLM thrown around lately. This stands for Large Language Model. Language is the very operating system of humanity. It is how we write our laws, our history, and our science. An LLM is simply an artificial intelligence that has been trained to recognize the patterns in human language. To build an LLM, researchers fed the computer almost everything ever written on the internet. Millions of books, articles, websites, and conversations. The computer read all of it, but what is it actually doing when it talks to you? Geoffrey Hinton, a pioneering scientist in this field, explains it beautifully. When you are talking to someone, your brain is constantly predicting what word is going to come next. If I say the words fish and, your brain automatically expects the word chips. But if I say fish and cucumber, your brain is surprised, and you learn something new from that unexpected pattern. An LLM is doing exactly that, just on a massive scale. When you ask it a question, it is not thinking the way you and I do. It is acting as a highly advanced autocomplete. It looks at your sentence, relies on the millions of books it has read, and calculates the most logical next word to say. One word at a time. This brings us to the actual tools people are using today. You have probably heard names like ChatGPT, Gemini, and Claude. What are they? Think of them like different brands of cars. A Ford, a Toyota, and a Honda all do the same basic thing. They get you from point A to point B. But they are built by different companies and have slightly different engines. ChatGPT was the first major AI tool to capture the public's imagination. It showed the world what these large language models could really do. Gemini is a similar tool built by Google, designed to integrate smoothly with the search engines and documents that millions of people already use every day. Claude is another highly capable model, built by researchers who put a heavy emphasis on making the system safe, nuanced, and helpful. Underneath the hood, they are all large language models. They are incredibly polite, instantly available digital assistants that have read the entire internet. You type in a question, and they predict the most helpful answer for you. They are all very similar, just wearing different name tags. But why does it feel like this is moving so incredibly fast? Why are hundreds of new tools appearing every single month? The answer lies in how digital technology shares information. When you learn a new skill, like how to play the piano, you cannot magically instantly transfer that skill into your best friend's brain. Biological learning is slow, but AI is digital. If one artificial intelligence model learns how to do a complex task, it can instantly share that exact connection strength with a clone of itself on a different server. They can share trillions of bits of information in a single second. Because of this unique digital ability, the technology is improving at lightning speed. And because the core brains of these models already exist, young startups and businesses do not have to reinvent the wheel. They simply take the existing AI technology and build a new creative shell around it. One company builds an AI tool that helps you organize your family recipes. Another builds an AI tool to help real estate agents write property descriptions. The technology is so adaptable that billions of dollars are flowing into the industry, sparking a massive explosion of new, creative applications. You might be wondering, what does this actually look like in the real world? AI is already quietly changing our daily lives in deeply practical ways. In the workplace, it is acting as a powerful assistant. Imagine someone who works in customer service. In the past, reading a customer's complaint, figuring out the issue, and typing out a polite response might have taken them 25 minutes. Today, they can securely scan that complaint into an AI tool, and the AI drafts a perfect, polite response in 5 minutes. In medicine, specialized AI is solving incredibly complex biological puzzles. It has cracked the code of protein folding, a breakthrough that is opening the door to creating new, life-saving medicines much faster than human researchers ever could on their own. In education, we are seeing the rise of personalized AI tutors. A child who is struggling with third-grade math can now sit down with an application that explains the concepts to them with infinite patience, never getting frustrated and adapting exactly to how that specific child learns. It is summarizing long meetings, translating languages in real time, and helping small business owners brainstorm new marketing ideas. It is taking the tedious, robotic tasks out of our days. So, what should you do with all of this information? First, take a deep breath. There is a lot of extreme hype out there, but you do not need to be a computer programmer to navigate this new world. Think about artificial intelligence today, the way people thought about the internet in the mid-1990s. Back then, the internet was confusing. It was new. People did not really understand how it worked or why they would ever need an email address. But over time, it just became a normal tool that we use to check the weather, talk to our families, and read the news. AI is exactly the same. It is just the next layer of the internet. The best thing you can do right now is simply be curious. You do not need to master it today. But the next time you are planning a weekend trip or trying to write a difficult email to a contractor, try opening one of these free tools. Type in a question, just like you were talking to a helpful neighbor. See what it says. Understanding AI is not about becoming a tech expert. It is simply about learning how to use a new kind of bicycle for the mind. We are standing at the very beginning of a remarkable new chapter in human history. The world is changing, yes, but technology has always changed the world. The future is not a story about machines replacing us. It is a story about human beings gaining access to the most powerful tool for learning and creativity ever invented. Now I finally understand what AI is, why everyone is talking about it, and why it matters. But perhaps, what do you think?